Peace, y'all. Y'all see what I'm here to talk about. How valuable is individual success with a world and system that's against that concept? Now, I know people might be thinking, like, the world is against individual success. How? They're always promoting it, always promoting you to be the GOAT, always promoting you to be the greatest. Strive for yourself, do what's best for you. You can go back and finish this, go do that. Oh, I see potential in you, do this. They're always pushing you to go out and do something, but depending on how you looking at it, you'll never get how this system is against the same thing that they're pushing you to be against. And I'm gonna give you an example. Just look at parents. We go out and we have these jobs where even though the job is paying the bills and is providing food on the table and putting clothes on everyone's back, we all know that it's not enough. And we all know that most parents are working to live and living to work. So those same parents that spend most of their time away from their children or child, they end up in these jobs and they realize where they're at these jobs, currently where they're living and all of this is not enough. So eventually the pressure falls on either one or both parents to quote unquote better themselves, seeking higher education to get a higher salary, seeking a credential to warrant a higher salary or a higher hourly rate, changing careers, finishing this to get into a different career. You know what that requires? More time away from your partner and your children or child. And that's how it works against you. Because even though at the end you might see the increase that you hope to see, whether it be a year or two or four from then, however long it takes. But the question that no one really asks is what I'm chasing now. So if I'm making, let's say, 60,000 and I'm chasing something to make 80 and it's going to take me 2 years. In 2 years, will the 80 that I think will solve the issues that 60 can't solve, will the 80 be enough in 2 years? And that's the catch. You never ever know. Because the system will never ever reveal that to you. No matter if you a financial analyst, no matter if you work on Wall Street, stock market, whether you watch the news every goddamn day, they're not going to tell you the moves that you make is going to be enough for the next situation. Look at athletes. They sacrifice all of this time to basically utilize their bodies as machines for entertainment. They travel all over the world. Meanwhile, their partners, spouses, children, they're never around them or not enough. So the woman and the child, or just the partner, because you know with this world you just never know, but just the partner and the child or children are vulnerable and left alone. No one's working on their mental strength. No one is there to help them physically. No one is there to make them feel better when daddy is not home or their spouse is not home, to take care of them or make them feel right, or when it's that night that they can't sleep. And old boy is out there on the road. He won't be home to the end of the week. Like, it looks good when you see LeBron James and these people take these family photos and these so-called nice homes, but at the end of the day, we don't even know what that whole entire family sacrificed in order to fake smile in that photo. Because I tell you one thing, as someone who loves love, I don't want to be around, I don't want to be away from the people that I love that much just to chase money, just to do something that'll help me do a little bit better at working to live than the next person. But yet, this is all at the cost of individual success. You sacrifice your relationship, you sacrifice your marriage, you sacrifice your child, you sacrifice all of the childhood memories you can't get back. You also sacrifice how your child looks at you, whether it be for respect, for guidance, because you're barely around. And you leave that child vulnerable to picking up on to other people and things that aren't you, that aren't from the safe space, because you don't even do enough to protect yourself. So what I'm saying is, how valuable is it? I know the money that can be made is valuable, but how valuable is that money when things start to hit the fan, when money ain't enough to keep someone content and happy? When is it enough where in a natural disaster, if you lose everything, how much value is that money that you've earned when you lost everything? The reason why I bring this up is because if we're not paying attention to all the things that's going around us, we're never going to pick on the many narratives that they're using against us. But yet, the things that this system is using against us is so far advanced that we may not even be able to fully comprehend why what's being done is done. We may not even be able to fully comprehend that because there's so many levels to deceit that they're exerting on us. And the key word is us. Now, if we got, let's say, you got a open enemy team of 4 people, and those 4 people are in the middle of the street. Each member has a firearm, and they're trying to protect themselves at the same time, but yet they're still making threats to the majority, to the whole. If each person who wanted to take them out came individually, one by one, the odds are 1 out of the 4 of those people can easily take out that one target approaching them one by one. Now, if everyone that was targeted by the 4 members of the opposition, if all of them were in unison, right? And they all came at once, but from all different angles, left, right, top, bottom, high, low. Who is more vulnerable to losing a fight? odds would be the four versus the whole. Even if the whole was six people coming at all different directions, the four people can't position themselves completely each way to defend themselves when they got to worry about all angles. And that's just a light example. Look at the world that's going on around you. Look at what they promoting. We're constantly promoting battles, wars, and they make us comfortable with it because they define it as entertainment, like sports. In theory, I would like to believe that all of those athletes who were fortunate enough to make it, to make a salary to do a sport that they enjoy doing, I would like to believe that those individual players are participating in the sport for liberation for themselves and their family, make enough money that they can take care of their family. They don't have to work a 9 to 5 job. They could do something that they love to do, make lots of money of it, and be able to retire early. That's what I would like to believe. But when you hear somebody like Kobe Bryant was making $20 million a season just off of his NBA contract from the early 2000s all the way up until the year he retired, it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder, how valuable is individual success, and then the other part is what it does to that person. Like, the nigga created a whole alter ego of himself just to be able to claim his success. Like, that's how driven he was by his individual success and his individual greatness, that his mind has been altered. And I'm not talking about in the best of ways. But of course, little by little, it's going to come out. There's a few things that came out, such as him sitting down with his trainer for a dinner for two, but yet he had a table for four for the other two alter egos he carries with him, and no one could sit there. He even dressed it up with drinks. Like, listen, man. How valuable is it? Look at what the world is promoting you. Don't go to sleep. Grind hard. Get this money. Do this, do that. Sell this, sell that. It's money to be made out here. But are they working? Are they the same people that's teaching you that? Are they also teaching you the value of health? Are they teaching you the value of what you consume and not just food? To make sure that while you're out pursuing this money, that your temple is well, your spirit is well? Are they teaching you time management? So while you out here getting this money, during these hours, without a doubt, you'll be able to spend time with your partner, if you got kids, your mom, your dad, your siblings, nieces, nephews. Like, do they teach you this stuff? No. They want you so obsessed with becoming great that you don't even realize it's at your expense, no one else's. Because everyone has to live their individual life, just like everyone has to find their reasons for contentment and their reasons to be happy. Everyone has to find it on their own. You might be a filler in the space for a time being, but if things don't work out, things got to still carry on for that person. So once again, I'm asking people, Why have we become so obsessed with something that don't fully benefit us? The money we make, we gotta spend it. That's just the first point. All the money that we make has to be spent. Even if you save it, it still has to be spent. It still has to go towards something. The house that you get, the car that you drive, everything has to be occupied. But if it's not occupied, what's its true value? I hear people talking about they went back to school and they got these degrees and it afforded them this nice car and it afforded them this nice home. But they never really told you that they're working harder. They never really told you that they're more stressed out. They never told you that if they ain't tell you that, they didn't tell you that they're spending less time with the people that they claim that they love. Like, I try to tell anybody that I can get a chance to that's doing regular shit, don't beat yourself up about where you at in life. Just work on strengthening your team around you. And if you don't have a team, work on constructing a team. Because individual success holds no credence against a group's success. A bunch of individual success is formed into a group. It can't stand a chance. One salary, depending on that salary, even if it's that one salary. Let me give you that example. Let's say you got one individual successor, like somebody like a media or an entertainment mogul or a lawyer. Let's just say they making 7 to 8 figures, maybe even 9 figures, right? But all by themselves. And let's just say you had a group of 5 people that decided to put all their monies together. They decided to balance all of their time schedules out. They were able to figure out whatever kids were involved, how to make sure all the kids are falling in alignment with the plan. Same down to the spouse, same down to just everybody that's connected to that 5 people. But the 5 main people are the machine. And let's just say that one individual finds them 5 to be a threat and they try to use their money to take them out. Can you, if all 5 people don't go everywhere together, can that one individual take them all out at once? Is one person, one person busting their ass, losing sleep, being deceitful, being greedy? Because trust me, to make 8 to 9 figures, you got to get real dirty. And that's just one person. So you know they tired. You know their health is fluctuating. You know their ego is fluctuating. You know their confidence fluctuating. Because it don't matter how much money they look like they have. They're still normal people. They still struggle like normal people. They just may not share the same struggles. However, they still struggle, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is this. Who's going to be able to who's going to have longer of a threshold one successful person or 5 people in full unison with each other. Because if one of those people out of the 5 gets a little weak or sick, the other 4 could pick that up because they planned for that. But if this one person gets sick, if this one person gets into an accident, who's there to hold up their end? Who's there to pick up exactly where they left off, that knows exactly what they were doing to maintain that person's success? There ain't nobody, because it's all individual. That individual did it all on their own. Or they didn't do it all on their own, but they put themselves to a place where everything is on their own. They don't share shit with nobody. And this is the world that we live in today, y'all. This is what they want us to do. This is how they want us to be. They only want us to chase any and everything for us, to give us the concept that when we get enough, then we're going to be able to share with those that we love, share with those that we have to take care of, without realizing that things change. The economy is always changing. Prices of food always change. Insurance always change. Rent changes. Energy changes. Everything is constantly changing. And what does it say? How valuable is individual success with a world and system against it? You think this system wants a bunch of individual success stories to inspire enough people to do the same things? You think the system is constructed? You think there's enough wealth out there for everybody to be successful individually so that nobody needs each other? It don't work like that, partner. And it never will work like that. But they want you to be stuck on that concept of illusion that if you make it, it's going to be enough. And it ain't. Which brings me to my point of, how do you combat that concept? If you ask me, there's many answers, but one perspective to look into is, like I said, putting all your chips together. See, we sit down, before I get into that, we sit down and we partner up with people for many things, whether we like them, whether we think they're smart, whether we think they live in a better neighborhood, they could help us out, sex. You know, it's just many reasons why people decide to join another person's journey and allow them to join yours. And we get caught up in this cycle of normal relationship things. Dates, spending money, trips, arguments, questions, doubts. But it's very rare you hear 2 people come together like, yo, listen, yo, this fucking world is fucking hard, man. This world is beyond hard, and I'm tired of struggling. I'm tired of feeling like the entire world is against me, and it's almost a crime to feel and express my vulnerability. I'm tired of feeling like I gotta accomplish everything on my own, but then when I loke up with somebody, they expecting me to have it all. They may not say that, but everyone is looking to benefit off of a situation in someone. Everyone is looking for something better, right? It's very rare you hear that. People focus on that. Like this world and this, I done been around long enough. I done been around the block long enough to know that chasing this success individually, it's going to get me places, but it's not going to get me the way I need to be. I still struggle with the same things when I was successful at that pinnacle of my life mentally. I still struggle with those same things that I was struggling with when I didn't have nothing. My spirit was still tested the same way. I was still vulnerable and prone to the same mistakes because I wasn't thinking the same. Or rather, I was thinking the same at all levels. Like, I just want people to think about that and analyze that. Why this system don't preach unity? Why this system is not promoting marriage? Why this system is not promoting group tank thinking? Why does this system tell you that a group of 2 or more people walking down the street in the eyes of the law can be considered a gang? Like, think about that. If you and your friends are walking down the street, it don't matter what neighborhood, if someone wants to feel threatened, y'all will be labeled as a gang, a violent group, a group that's potential to cause chaos. And y'all could have just been walking down the street laughing and making jokes. This is why individual success to me is trash, because they're not promoting healthy relationships. They're not promoting healthy marriages. They're not promoting healthy parental advisoring between parent and child, guardian and children or child. They don't do that. They're not showing you that. And I mean at all levels. So why do we continue to fall to this spirit that they keep in us? That all we got to do is be successful on our own and everything else will fall into place. When it never works that way. I promise you, it never works that way. Like, you can't even have a union at a job exercise the full point of being a union, because you can't even get all of those people on the same accord, because the system that's utilizing the union, they know how to divide the union up, whether it's by race, creed, title, color of your uniform, salary, nationality, work schedule, work assignment. Like, they always find a way to cause infighting. Whereas with us, if we all worked on the same accord and we all played our roles to the best of our ability, and without the system knowing that, yeah, y'all could try all of that. Y'all could try to separate us by all of that. But unbeknownst to y'all, when it's time to eat, we all eating together. When it's time for all of us to go home, we all making sure that we all got a safe route to get home. When it's our days off, while y'all thinking we out here being distracted by the people that y'all sold out for all of these companies, propaganda and all that. Y'all think y'all buying, you got us buying into that? Nah, on the weekends, we not spending our time doing that. And on our time off, we spending time together. Whoever could spend time together. We making sure that we spending more time with our kids. We making sure we spending more time with our partners. We making sure that our parents are good. We not just gonna be focused on the things that y'all use to distract us. Or quite frankly is, all right, how we should all look at it is, when it comes to these entertainers, is that, hey, they may be using y'all to distract us, and y'all might be loving it because y'all getting paid for it. But the way we looking at it, when we done being militant, and when we done being focused on keeping our shit together and our shit straight, we use y'all to laugh at. When we don't, when our minds need a break from being serious and diligent, then we allow y'all to entertain us for a few. We laugh at y'all. Y'all think y'all mocking us with the mocking tongue, but this group, this unit, we laughing at y'all. Look what you gotta do to sing a song. You gotta dance around naked. You gotta show your stretch marks. Or better yet, you gotta have all of this body makeup and all this to hide your imperfections. Look at you. Look at you speaking in mumbo jumbo. Speaking like Batman. Like, look at y'all. Look at y'all. Look at this actor. Look what he did. Look at how they dress. This is what you gotta do? All by yourself? Yo, family, we good, right? Yo, we making sure we ain't never gotta do none of this shit that we looking at on this screen, this boob tube. That's how we need to look at it. Look at these athletes sacrificing their limbs for a fixed sport that they don't have no say in the outcome. They just gotta do their job, nigga. And make it believable. Because if you don't, you'll find yourself out of this league. We need to look at them like that. That's purely it. And pray for them. Because what we doing, we don't just want for us. We want everybody to find a group. A group that's just focused on identifying what the system don't want us to thrive at and thrive in for the long haul. And we combat it with plans to ensure that we get that. So that when the system fights back, because it will, it's going to take a whole lot more, because now each individual has layers to them before they're fully vulnerable to the system. I'm not talking about like these fixed stories about forming these groups and controlling the neighborhoods and stuff. I'm not talking about at that level. I'm talking about nobody overworking themselves. No one having to step out of their shell. We got to be like turtles, man. Wise enough to know when to stick our heads out, to move around, and then when to cave in when everything is crashing in around us. Crawl into our shell so that we're fully protected against any weapon that's formed against us. We gotta stop chasing this success, y'all. We gotta stop idolizing We gotta stop idolizing nothingness, because this is nothing. This is all nothing out here. All of this stuff. Why you think all of these alleged billionaires still have to keep working? Because that spirit that's in them will never be satisfied. It's greed, it's gluttony, it's everything. It's everything that you don't need. It'll help you get by, but I promise you it's not enough. I promise you. So I tell y'all, man, this individual success, it's a gift and a curse if you're not utilizing your successes correctly. Sometimes, man, when I sit here and I think about just talking, man, I get a little overwhelmed with the stuff that's coming to my head. So sorry if it doesn't flow like water. Like, I don't know, man. I'm always in a pensive state. I've been doing this shit according to this Gregorian calendar for 37 long years. And when you've seen a lot of mistakes that people made, when you see the weaknesses in people's foundations, all you can help to do is sit back and think that if you was ever granted an opportunity to work on yours, what you gonna do? How you not gonna replicate the same thing that you saw? Listen, there's gonna be more of this coming, but I just wanted to tell people, man, and get this off my chest real quick, that granted, we could all be successful out here. We could all be successful in the eyes of the system, do what the system tells us to do. But then when we reach that, we can't just continue to be obsessed with the next thing that the system tells us to do. Stop it right there and find your way to give back. Find your way to groom those that can not only help keep what you got in place strong, but also everyone can have a level of sustenance and protection and security, and it could be felt with conviction, no doubts. Leave this system shit alone, please. Stop thinking that you being successful on your own is going to be enough to withstand the many tests in a relationship, in a marriage, in a family, at home, at work. Stop thinking that. Stop allowing this system and its minions to take away an experience or experiences in life that have yet to be even cracked open. Because everyone is afraid of unity, but yet we all want it. We're so afraid of the thing that we yearn for and need the most. So instead of doing the polar opposite out of fear, I urge you to go straight into that direction of what you need. You go straight there.